years is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, the man, oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets, the coast of regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash.
See. Oh, damn!
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. I don't wear ball mains. All I ever do is ball main. I am not a rapper, they all lame. I am not dope, I'm hard. Wait, I can power up and level up at any moment. Spitting like a semi, only give me semicolon. Couple zeros like I'm sending yell nets. Every flow is unmatched and I better get set in. Finish them. Mess around with me and I diminish them all. Even if I ever did the minimum all. In the end result, I better kill them all. Rogue one, but I got a team with me. Batman when I got a team with me. I get mean, I get green. Show the whole game what's never been seen. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Designer sneakers hurt my feet now. Every beat is getting beat down. Couldn't eat, well watch I eat now. Like how you getting paid to freestyle? Different cities every week now. Every woman is a now. What state prop you looking bleak now? I was home to sleep designer sheets now. 30 different missions. When I speak they listen. Couldn't find the social fishing. Who the crew, it wasn't you. I know it's true cause you look like the opposition. Run it up, greatest ever sums it up. I ain't have a lot when I was coming up. Kinda made my stomach turn when I brung it up. Wait.
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Not a day in my life. Long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die. This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me. No conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bed until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die.
Up is magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion. Had to set the bar, try to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Felt like I ain't ate in weeks, working off the muscle. Oh yeah, oh my, we ride for my brothers, no lie. All you can die.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. Time to set the old turducken aside and get ready for football as here we go on a Thanksgiving night. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. Man open, that's Robert Foster complete. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Out of the gun, Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the 1st down. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, here's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. To throw is Watson. Flush, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. I don't think that was a blitz, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, there was no blitz called on the play. Had other responsibilities, but he saw an opportunity, saw a path, and he took it.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long, it's Watson. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. He's got a 1st down and then some inside the 40. Touchdown, Texans. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Now Allen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Taken from just outside the 30. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw, Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. That'll bring up second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing again is Watson. Escaping the pressure right. He'll try and run it. And some room to maneuver. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 17-yard line.
Check 50. Hey, 31. 149. Hey, me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. Let's go.
From the red zone now, Watson. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. From 17 yards out. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That'll be taken in the end zone.
The Bills take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right?
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On first down, Watson got a man open. It's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. Will Fuller hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Texans push further out in front. And, oh, it's no good on the PAT. So they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
He'll let it go deep for Foster. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A big play here for Buffalo, 45 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
56 is the mark. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Now on 2nd and 13. Allen. And John Brown's got it. Complete. Now Brown. Oh, he lost the football.
Come on, fellas.
The offense retains possession.
First trip to the red zone for the Bills. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. They run here with Singletary. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Come on, D.
Allen now on 3rd and goal. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
And the 13-year man puts it through, and high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up, but the offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. On 1st and 10, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Check out, bro. Put it down.
Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So after the INT, it's Allen. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And now a big play to start off this drive as the shot downfield is complete. A very solid gain of 27. Watson now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a 1st down here. Watson now to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 10 yards there. Good enough for a Texan first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
To throw again on second down, Watson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The last run got a couple. Here's second and 8.
Coming to you.
On second down, here's a run with Singletary. And he makes it all the way down to the 31.
Here we go.
A big play here for the Bills. 51 yards on the ground.
First down, Buffalo.
So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field. Open man here is Foster. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth, when the ball's arriving and there's a defender there.
And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bills cut into that lead.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in a second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
Watson on first down. He's got Fuller. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. A shotgun snap for Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on first down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown to this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20, and this will be a touchdown. So that's now 3 first-half interceptions, and that last one even costlier as it's returned for 6 points. So as a quarterback, how do you regain your focus?
Well, QB 101 says you never show them that you're sweating. Still act like you're the guy that you've thrown 6 touchdown passes, not 3 interceptions. But he's human. He's got to face up to his teammates. He's got to own up to that. See if he can brace up and also not look over his shoulder and see his backup starting to warm up. It's going to be a tough one for him.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Time here for likely 1 play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry?
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. So we've reached halftime here on a Thanksgiving night as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going.
Hey, 24, 59.
On 1st down, Swift. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup. Running game working, they'll stick with it on 1st down. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. Being chased out left. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And an alley to run. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. They'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys who try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone.
A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. 7 yards there and a first down.
56, the mark, boys, 56. Check, 56.
On first down, Allen. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
55, middle, 55.
Allen again here on 2nd and 10. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Allen from the gun on third down. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Allen. Allen hit. He lost the football.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way. Watson steps away to his left. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Big Shaq Lawson gets the sack there.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. To throw again, Watson. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
On 2nd down now. It's Hunt, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Allen. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Josh Jones. And he will have a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Well, pretty nice work defensively there on the 1st down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. 2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run again with Hunt. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. This is a draw play. Allen gives to Singletary. And he's going to be brought down short of the 1st at about the 31-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9.
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Justin Reed. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Watson. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 2 yards, good enough for a first. Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now Watson. It's complete to Fuller. Will Fuller. Nobody there to stop him. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. On play action, Allen. And that is incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Bradley Roby there defensively. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
What's that? 19! 49 to Mike. I'm coming! I'm coming! I'm coming!
The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. To throw is Watson. And Stills bringing it in. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. They'll get a couple yards on that one. So now from half the distance closer, here's 1st and goal. Here's Watson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. So do you put it in your quarterback's hands again? That's the question here on 3rd and goal. To the air yet again, Watson. And this is going to be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 19-yard line.
19! Pass. 56.
From the gun, it's Allen. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. He finds his target, John Brown. And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's look at it. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Throwing again on 2nd down. Allen. And his throw is incomplete. Bradley Roby there defensively. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. And it appears the offense is going to try this again. They've yet to convert the first 3 times on 4th down, but they're going once more. And he's going to have the connection to Foster. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Intended for Dawson Knox. Incomplete. It's now 2nd and 10.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get it go.
Throwing again. Allen. And this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them.
Here we go.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, they move back over 500 now at 6-5. And they'll get another home date next week as the Jaguars will come to town. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick